Well, looks like CJAX is back turning heel. He went from babyface Sunday, and now he's back to being heel. Are y'all ready for the rant, bruh? Well, guess what? We're about to get into it. Let's go.
Yo, we're just going to jump right into this Raw review, man. This episode was absolute nonsensical garbage, okay? There is absolutely zero reason for me to sit here and try and lie and joke or even waste my time talking about most of the stuff that took place. This was the most pointless and nonsense episode that they've had since the last one. You know what I'm saying? Because every week it's garbage. So it's like, this has just been a disaster. It's a shame that after last night Evolution, I really liked it. I thought it was very good. And now you get this. It makes you think, I'm like, there's no way that Triple H is booking that show last night. Like, they had to have shoved Triple H in like some type of like box or something like that and trapped him somewhere and had Shawn Michaels go ahead and book the show, you know, because this is just a joke at this point, man. So I don't know what this was. Roman Reigns is officially back, but again, why is Roman Reigns taking a 3-month break to return to fight against Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker? Do you understand how stupid this is? We are going to probably get a tag match with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker versus Roman and Jey Uso for nothing. There's nothing on the line. Nobody cares. Roman Reigns is one of the greatest WWE champions of all time. He had the belt for over 4 years. And you're telling me that he's snooping down to return to fight Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker? Really? Jey Uso, he pinned Braun Breaker clean last year for the IC title. And then after that, he got a buff because he now just tapping out Gunther in 5 seconds at WrestleMania. And you're telling me that the team of that guy, along with Roman Reigns, can't beat a team of people that they've already beat before? Jey Uso's beaten both Brunson and Braun Breaker. But you're telling me that now him, along with Roman Reigns, aren't going to be able to beat Braun and Brunson? The booking is stupid. And the booking in the main event with the gauntlet match was a disaster, man. But we're getting LA Knight, bro. LA Knight's done. You might as well just bring him to NXT and have him win the NXT title, at least give him something. You know what I'm saying? He can go beat Obafemi or something because this dude's done. He's given nothing. He's moving the whole arena. You know what I'm saying? He's selling merchandise, which everyone makes a big deal about merchandise. I don't care about it, but it's another accolade that he does, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. He's obviously super over. He obviously is one of their better promo workers, and he's putting on consistently good matches. He stays healthy. What the heck else does he need to do to just win anything above a U.S. title? I mean, come on, man. This is embarrassing. LA Knight comes in fully healthy after, and Michael Cole says, LA Knight was in a grueling match with Rollins. No, he wasn't. The match was 5 minutes, and then Rollins hurt his knee, unfortunately, and then LA Knight had to pin him on the fly. What do you mean, grueling match? What do you, like, what? He comes out holding his ribs? He's done nothing. Stop. Stop making excuses for booking LA Knight like a jobber. LA Knight at full strength goes out to fight a Braun Breaker who had already fought Penta for 15 minutes or so, and then he goes out and can't even beat Braun Breaker and gets pinned off one spear. It's over for this guy. Him, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, honestly Roman at this point as well in terms of winning meaningful matches. It's over for these guys. It's done. They win no meaningful matches. They get pinned. They look stupid. It's like, what are we doing at this point, man? Triple H is booking so detrimental to these talents, your top talents, that it's just unwatchable. It's unwatchable, man. You know, but anyways, quick side note as well, if any of you guys, you know what I'm saying, watch Raw weekly, or you know of any like Twitter accounts or any places I can find like the 1080p resolution clips for what's happening live as the show is going on, if you even have it, if you have it, it's great. If you don't know, that's completely fine as well. But for some reason, WWE is not posting the 1080p like resolution videos, so I now have to just use the 720p ones that they have on their Twitter. So that's kind of unfortunate. Kind of, I want like higher quality footage, but it is what it is, man. Triple Fraud is ruining the quality of his product, so it is what it is. But if you can help me on that, thank you. If not, it is what it is. But because of the 720p, I'm going to be jumping around using a bunch of different images in this video, and it may not be as crisp, but we got to work with what we got. Let's move on to the first thing that took place, which actually, before we get into the first thing, because we're going to run through all the fluff and all the garbage, and then we're just going to get to the main event gauntlet match, because nothing happened on this show. It's as per usual, okay? But the point is, you watch these shows, and you realize that these belts have no prestige anymore. I've been saying this for a few weeks now. The reason the belts have no prestige is simply because of the fact that it's the same people feuding every single week. For Tiffany Stratton's WWE Championship reign, think about it. She's fought Nia Jax at least 3 or 4 times. She fought Bayley 3 or 4 times. And then she fought, who else did she fight so far? You know what I'm saying? She fought, Trish Stratus? She's fought no one. It's been 7 months. She's done nothing with that belt. Cody Rhodes, when he was champion, he feuded with Kevin Owens for 5 months. And they have 3 matches in that 5-month time span. Do you understand how egregious that is? That is embarrassing. Gunther, 6 title defenses in like 250 days as champion, you know? And it was the same people. He fought Damian Priest 2 or 3 times. He fought Sami Zayn 2 or 3 times. And then he fought against Jey Uso and lost. And that's it. It's the same people fighting. The women's mid-card. Chelsea Green versus what's her name? Versus Michin 50 times it happened. Then Zelina Vega, you can look at graphics. There's graphics out there you can find. Zelina Vega fought the Secret Herberts or some variation of them for 11 weeks straight on SmackDown. Do you understand how embarrassing this booking is for this company and for these titles? None of these titles mean anything anymore because the same people fight for them and it's the same jobbers. It's the same stuff. You know, I'm so drained out just looking at how garbage these reigns are. Nobody cares about this stuff, bro. Stop it. It's draining to see the same people fighting every week. How many times do we need to see Bayley versus Lyra to see who faces Becky? Come on, man. And it's always ending on a roll-up because of the 50-50 booking. Triple H just picks and chooses who gets pinned and who doesn't and who gets booked 50-50 and who doesn't, man. In any Lyra Valkyria or Bayley match or Lyra versus Becky or the collection of all 3 of them like at Evolution yesterday, you will notice that every single one of their matches has at least 10 to 15 roll-ups. At least 10 to 15 roll-ups / counters in there. It's the same stuff with the same spots. I don't give a crap if 2 or 3 minutes of the match is really good, if the other 15 minutes are atrocious. So listen, man, it was unacceptable, bro. It's absolutely unacceptable. We get the same people. You know, Triple H picks and chooses. The New Day, for example, lost the belts. They have to go do a qualifier now to go earn a title shot. Jey Uso has to re-earn a championship shot. Cody Rhodes had to re-earn a championship shot, even though he just pinned John Cena at Money in the Bank. He had to re-earn a shot. Rhea Ripley doesn't have to earn anything. She just comes out and gets a title match. Io Sky comes out, gets a rematch. Gunther comes out and got a rematch versus Jay. Goldberg, he comes out and he just gets an automatic world championship match. Randy Orton came out and got a WWE championship match versus John Cena at Backlash, okay? CM Punk came out and just randomly got a WWE title match versus Cena as well. AJ Styles gets an IC title shot. The booking is so bad, it's so stupid.
Yeah, man. And also, let's not forget that Liv Morgan tried to go after Io Sky for the women's world title while she was still tag team champion, which it makes no sense because if you're a tag team champion, you should be going after tag teams, not solo competitors, especially if you're a champion yourself. But that championship is not for solo competitors. It's for tag teams only. And you're a tag team champion. So that makes no sense either way. Okay. Liv Morgan cannot be a tag team champion and go after women's world championships and WWE Women's Championships, Intercontinental, United States Champion, NXT, North American. You can't go after those belts if you're a tag team champion. And that's why Liv Morgan, when she comes back, she should go as a solo competitor, not a tag team partner. If she wants the gold, she has to focus on that shit instead of focusing on the boy and on the tag team partner. And listen, y'all already know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean, he's mentioning everybody but Liv, but I get it. But again, it's CJAX, so you know he's not going to mention Liv Morgan. But he needs to, though, because Liv Morgan is the same thing, all right? You're talking about Rhea, Becky, Charlotte is Hogan's, but at least Charlotte is being humble and she's going after tag team gold and not the solo, and not the WWE championship. You know what I'm saying? So, that's one thing I want Liv Morgan to do is go after the goal that she wants to go after, and that's the women's world title. But I'm like, okay, if you're going to go after that, you got to sacrifice, right? Give up the boy, give up the group, and go after that. So, again, it's all really confusing at the end of the day how things are getting booked. But Triple H has his favorites, and he's going to look out for them because that's what he wants to do. So, let's get into that.
Everyone just gets pick and choose when they get to, have their matches and win their titles. It's all dumb. I hate the booking, but that's enough of that. Let's move on to the first segment, which was Naomi coming out. Congratulations to Naomi as the new World Heavyweight Champion. Maybe Triple H can have Io Sky win it back at SummerSlam because at the end of the day, this Naomi championship reign is probably a transitional reign. So just like Io Sky had a transitional championship reign that was wasted where she only had 3 defenses in 7 months, dang near, 5 or 6 months, basically Naomi looks like she's probably going to lose this belt to Stephanie Vaquer at Clash in Paris. So she'll retain at SummerSlam most likely. And she comes out here. She has some pretty funny moments in this promo in this segment. She laughs it off, you know what I'm saying? It says, the fans, don't try and cheer for me now. You weren't feeling the glow, so I don't want you to support me like this. But she gets a great reaction from the crowd, so it's cool to see that she's getting her respect and her care and her love. But she basically says, you know what I'm saying, that everyone who's back there who's trying to come for this belt, proceed with caution. And she does that maniacal laugh that she's doing really good with. She's working her new character very, very good. She's probably the best current character worker of the, of current gimmicks in the women's division, as far as I'm concerned. So then after that, Rhea Ripley comes out and she's basically going to take back a title that she never lost, yeah? It's the same thing as per usual, man. Io Sky comes out. They're both just chilling in the ring, and then Adam Pearce comes out and announces we're going to get a triple threat at SummerSlam for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship with Naomi, Io, and Rhea Ripley now. So that's basically it. In WWE, you fail upwards. If you lose a championship match, you then get a rematch immediately after, as long as Triple H wants you to. If not, you won't get another rematch until the following year. So you know what I'm saying? Because you can just have a lingering rematch and then just come back and ask for it like 18 months down the line and you'll just get it. That's how bad and stupid the booking is now. So we just get what we get and we don't get upset. No, actually, we do get upset. You know what I'm saying at this point. So, but anyways, we just saw like the fact is this, right? For the women's mid card with the IC belt, for example, the U.S. title and then the World Championships, we just saw 200 billion women last night at Evolution put on a very good show. You mean to tell me that you can only get the same people to revolve around these belts? Because think about it. The first women's World Championship match of the year was Liv versus Rhea at Raw on Netflix on the premiere, okay? Then you had Rhea versus Io Sky. Then it was Rhea versus Io Sky again with Bianca refereeing. Then it was Rhea versus Io versus Bianca Belair at Mania. Then it was Rhea versus Io at Evolution yesterday. Now it's Rhea versus Io versus Naomi for the World Championship. It's the same people. Same people, bro. Where are the new championship shots? We have to wait 2 months just to get Stephanie Vaquera finally a new competitor? So you mean to tell me that since the beginning of the year to late August, we're going to finally get the first new competitor for the belt all year? That is the booking that Triple H is giving you. This is stupid. No one gets any new opportunities. You just watch people like Sol Ruka, Jada Parker go out there. You saw Lash Legend go out there. Those are just a couple of names. You get what I'm saying? There's other mid-card talents that you 100% could pull from, but instead it's just Lyra and Bayley, the same people. Bayley's what, in her 40s now? Becky Lynch is what, in her 40s now? And they're still getting these championship matches? We're still getting the same people? It is just, use your new talent! Push your new stars. Why is Trick Williams in NXT? Why is Obafemi still in NXT? Like, what are we doing? Bring new people up. Utilize an Austin Theory maybe, or Carmelo Hayes. Get him out of catering and get him in the ring. Build new stars. So that way when Rollins or people like that do get injured eventually, maybe you can actually get people in their place and build up new superstars in their place instead of doing stupid booking. Anyways, man, it's so nonsensical, dude. It's just infuriating. We then get a tag match with Raquel and Roxanne versus the Kabuki Warriors. Obviously, the Raquel and Roxanne, they end up winning this match, obviously, via roll-up because it's 50-50 booking every day. So that's basically it. We can skip this match and move on. Roxanne Perez, by the way, I'm done with this. Roxanne Perez is a jobber. I'm sorry. I'm done talking about this, man. She doesn't do anything. She's not super over. She's not an elite promo worker or storyteller because we haven't seen her do any of it yet. And on top of that, in the ring, she's not that great. She's solid. You know what I'm saying? At times good, but what about her makes her the prodigy, the next big superstar in the women's division as she was touted coming up from NXT this year? So just stop with that garbage.
I mean, I'm not going to call her a jobber, but however, she hasn't been doing a good job by storytelling. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I mean, I'm still trying to figure it out because Dom and Roxanne are not even interacting with each other. I mean, yeah, he came out to help, but the only reason he went out there was because of Finn. But other than that, like, there's no interaction between those two. They're not talking. They're not communicating. And so it's just like, what you put her in the group for if she's not going to, use her character to her advantage. It just seems to me like she just went Raquel. Okay, I don't mind that. But when are we going to get Dom to interact with both of them? Because it seems to me like he's just interacting with JD, which is ridiculous because JD's barely doing anything. So everything he's saying about Roxanne, is how I feel about JD. JD's not doing nothing, but just being a tag team partner for Finn. So it's just like, I'm amazed he still have a job. I mean, you release Carlito, but you won't release JD? Like, come on, man. Like, I mean, sure, you could keep him around just so Finn can have someone to interact with. Why can't he collab with AJ? You know what I mean? Why can't we reform the Bullet Club? That's what we should do. You know what I'm saying? Let's get Finn, AJ, Liv, the team up to go against Dom, Roxanne, and Rey Mysterio. Why can we do that? Or we could bring back Carlito. We could have Dom and Carlito and Roxanne or Raquel team up to go against AJ, Finn, and Liv. Why can we do that? You know what I'm saying? Like this shit is just stupid, man. I mean, so I feel CJAX on that one. But then again, I don't want to call her a jobber, but I mean, at least she's putting Raquel over, so that's good. But what's not good is the storytelling. We need Roxanne to do something because right now she's not doing anything but just being part of the group. You know, like it's like her and JD just have the same role. They're just there just to be there. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing anything. You know, so it's just like. I mean, I'm seeing more pictures of her and Drake than I'm seeing more pictures of her and Dom. And it's just like, okay, what are we doing this for? You know what I'm saying? If you're not going to use Roxanne, then don't do it. But I'm just saying, there has to be something she could do besides just being a tag team partner for Raquel. Can she do something? Like, you know what I'm saying? Can you get her to like at least open up to Dom? Because then maybe, you know what I mean? Because Finn should not be the one telling Dom what, you know, like, hey, go out there and help. You know what I mean? Roxanne should just ask. You know what I'm saying? But you're not pushing her to do that. So I don't know how this is gonna work. But this is frustrating, bro. I mean, right now it seems to me like they're failing her character because her character should be I'm replacing Liv Morgan. Okay, but you're not doing a pretty good job. And the reason why is because you're not talking to the guy that she is obsessed with. So do that. If you're not gonna do it, then this ain't gonna work. You know, do something or get out the group and go do something else. So that's all I gotta say on that. But let's get back to the video.
Now let's move on. We then get a rematch of Lyra Valkyria versus Bayley. We're going to skip this. Lyra Valkyria basically won the match, and that's it. She had the first two falls. It was the best 2 out of 3 falls match. The first 2 falls, you guessed it, were won by roll-ups. Yay! Fruit roll-up, man. Slap into a Slim Jim. You know, we get a fruit roll-up match, and that's basically it. Then Bayley gets hit by the Nightwing in a nice little sequence at the end of the match, and that's it. This match was mid. I don't care about it. This story is boring. It's monotonous, and I'm tired of seeing these two wrestle, and I really don't want to watch Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria again. So whatever, man. We then get to Nikki Bella versus Chelsea Green. There's nothing to say about this. It's great to see Nikki Bella as per usual. Nikki Bella ends up getting this W. Afterwards, she fights with Chelsea in the Secret Harvest, and then Stephanie Valkyria comes out to help out Nikki Bella. So that's kind of cool, I guess. You know, there you have it. I don't know what else to say about it. Then we get to the main event, which was the gauntlet match. Bronson Reed basically should feel slighted, in my opinion. This is something that they don't discuss on the show, but Bronson Reed should feel some type of way. Just because Seth Rollins is now injured, Bronson Reed now has to be the lackey to Braun Breaker now? The focus just shifts to Braun Breaker? Bronson Reed should be like, well, why is the focus not shifted to me? I'm supposed to be the future of the industry too. Why am I automatically a lackey again for Braun Breaker, man? This is stupid. You get me? It doesn't make any sense. All Bronson Reed is here to do is be a lackey, and that doesn't coincide with the message they're trying to do of them being the future of the industry. But again, let's just move on. We then basically and also another thing, if the gauntlet match was going to have no DQ, why doesn't Bronson Reed just help Braun Breaker the whole time? They could have smashed through Penta, Jey Uso, and CM Punk and LA Knight in like 2 seconds each if they really wanted to just 2v1 and get through this quickly, but that doesn't make sense, whatever. Gunther is basically going to have a promo with Paul Heyman before this match starts. Paul Heyman supporting Bronson Reed, sorry, I can't even get it right, man. Brock Lesnar, Bronson Reed, LeBron James, Bronny James, Bryce James. You also have Braun Breaker, obviously. All of the Braun is basically out there. Gunther basically has a promo basically saying, who's next? You know, now that he's retired Goldberg. And then Paul Heyman comes out basically backing Braun Breaker and basically saying, this dude is the big dog. He is the big guy. The big guy, Ryback. You guys remember the boy Ryback. But yeah, He basically says that, Braun Breaker is the big dog now. And long story short, Braun Breaker is going to break Gunther once he wins this gauntlet match. Gunther then walks out of the ring like a little kid, and that's it. Penta then is the first person who comes out, and long story short, he loses off of getting speared midair, like they had the same spot when he lost to Braun Breaker a couple weeks ago on Raw. So it's the same spot, nothing to talk about here. It was a really good spear, though. Really good spear, good ending to the match. Everything else, I don't really care. It was broken up with ads anyway, so who cares? We then get LA Knight come out. And like I already explained this earlier, LA Knight losing this match doesn't make any sense. He didn't have a grueling match with Seth. He didn't have anything like that at all, okay? He came out there tonight and he fought against Braun Breaker, who Braun Breaker had just finished a 15-minute plus match with Penta, or at least 10 minutes it was probably. He fought Penta. LA Knight cannot beat LA Knight fully healthy cannot beat a Braun Breaker who's already been battle damaged, bro. And his arm was hurting too. That was the whole storyline of this too, was that LA Knight was hurting Braun Breaker's shoulder and his arm. The same arm I think that Braun Breaker uses to just spear LA Knight and pin him in 2 seconds. So it's just, none of this stuff makes sense. LA Knight's career is essentially over at this point in terms of winning a world championship. Everything that he's done the last few years, getting over organically, which you know Triple H is not a fan of. That's why Karrion Kross, who got over naturally, I will admit, he's not doing anything. And he hasn't been doing anything for months at this point. So, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But that's just kind of how it is, man. The LA Knight losing, it just sucked to see this. It's really frustrating to see someone as great as LA Knight, one of my favorite wrestlers as well, one of a lot of people's favorite wrestlers, doing all these great things just to continue to get jobbed out. And now LA Knight's probably not even going to be on SummerSlam, because think about it. He has no tag team championship or tag team match set up at all, right? He's not going for any mid-card belts because Solo and Jacob are probably going to run it back for the U.S. title. I wouldn't be surprised if Triple H just throws LA Knight inside of that feud just to get him on the card at SummerSlam, but that's probably not going to happen. But, obviously LA Knight's not challenging for any of the world titles, and obviously it's hard to get on cards like SummerSlam and Mania when, number one, you have to get on there. If you're going to get on there, you likely are fighting for a title, and if you're not, you have a really good blood feud or something that warrants a SummerSlam match. There's no way in the next 2 weeks on two shows of SmackDown that he's going to somehow develop a feud that's necessary for SummerSlam. So LA Knight went from actually being in the chance to have a Money in the Bank, which they messed that up. He should have won that. Then they had the King of the Ring, which he could have won that and he didn't. And now you have this where he's getting jobbed out to Braun Breaker, who's not even at 100%. And now LA Knight won't even be on SummerSlam. One of the top talents in the company won't even be on SummerSlam, and this is how Triple H books him. And then we're just supposed to be okay with this. It is stupid, and everyone knows it. I'm done talking about that. Now, we move on to Jey Uso. Jey Uso knocks Braun Breaker out of the ring and then hits the dive and then goes back in the ring to replay his music and then starts yeeting mid-match. Then cuts to commercial. He comes back, and Jey Uso gets pinned literally 5 minutes later. He takes one spear because Bronson Reed grabbed Jey Uso off the top rope when he was trying to go for the splash. Grabbed him off the rope, and Jey Uso hit his arm on the rope, and then Braun Breaker went for the spear, and that was it. Jey Uso tapped Gunther out in 6 seconds at WrestleMania. He kicked out of Gunther's powerbomb and clothesline spree at WrestleMania. And on top of that, he pinned Braun Breaker clean last year for the Intercontinental Championship. And obviously now, we see Jey Uso getting pinned by one spear in 5 minutes. One move, 5 minutes, jobbed out. That's what Jey Uso did to Braun Breaker tonight, and it is embarrassing and inconsistent booking. How can Jey Uso win the world title from one of the top, book talents in the company, Gunther, who barely ever loses anything, right? You had Gunther, lose to Jey Uso, but now Jey Uso can't beat Braun Breaker, who's Braun Breaker, again, was not even at 0.5% at this point in this match. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't even at 50%, and Jey Uso comes out there fully healthy, fully at 100%, and because of an arm drag and a spear, he gets pinned. Just was world champion a month and a half ago, by the way. But anyways, that doesn't matter. We'll just move on. Another stupid booking by Triple H. We then get Jey Uso came back out later on in the match because CM Punk comes out next, and CM Punk has struggles beating Braun Breaker. Where is this power-up buff for Braun Breaker coming from? He got pinned by Sami Zayn last year. He got pinned by Jey Uso. He lost the IC belt at WrestleMania. How in the world is this dude now randomly lasting through gauntlet matches, wrestling for 40-plus minutes and kicking out? How? Can someone please explain this to me? I don't understand it. But anyways, after a long and quote-unquote grueling match, CM Punk somehow, who again on Raw Netflix versus Rollins, kicked out of multiple pedigrees, multiple curb stomps, and even a GTS, I'm pretty sure. He took a pedigree on the table outside and still kicked out. And then we saw at Mania, he took multiple stomps, multiple spears, and he was still moving around out there, got put through a table, still moving around. We saw at Night of Champions, he fought John Cena, took 4 or 5 AAs, kicked out of them all, but now all of a sudden, he is struggling to fight against Braun Breaker at 50% while Punk's at 100%? What is the consistency here? This is stupid. They turned Braun Breaker into Superman, and they turned CM Punk, who was Superman, into some average mid-card jobber in terms of his power level in order to elevate Braun Breaker. You should not be elevating talent by demoting other talent and deconstructing them. It's inconsistent, it's bad booking, and it's detrimental to your top talents, and we know this. Triple H should be fired. I don't get how he is, and he should be fired immediately. Anyways, CM Punk ends up winning off of a GTS to Braun Breaker because Jey Uso comes back out with his hurt ribs and helps him helps Bronson Reed get beat up, so that way it distracts Braun Breaker. Then Punk's able to hit the GTS and gets the W. Okay, he then faces off with Gunther from a distance. Gunther's up in the stands. CM Punk faces off at him. He's like, yeah, I'm coming for that belt. Then afterwards, CM Punk gets beat up, and so does Jey Uso. They're set up for a double tsunami. Okay, and then obviously the OTC's music hits, and man, I will say it is great to see Roman Reigns because obviously he's the only superstar left in this company at this point besides like John Cena, and that's basically it. Him and Punk and Roman, and that's basically it. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to see Roman Reigns back, but under these conditions, I don't know if it's that good because he came out and Superman punched Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, speared them both, got a massive pop. They did the Roman Reigns, you know what I'm saying, in the OTC, and now his new nickname or his new alias, I guess, is now going to be OTC1. You know what I'm saying? They're naming this dude after COVID variants is what it sounds like, But that's basically what it is. Roman Reigns is officially back. He then helps up Jey Uso after he made Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed run away after they got beat up. And then CM Punk and Roman Reigns have a little bit of a face-off, and then the show basically ends with Punk, Roman, and Jey standing tall looking at Braun and Bronson, and that's basically it. Again, if CM Punk and Roman Reigns really had that blood feud, leading into Mania 41, why in the world is Roman Reigns not just getting CM Punk up and spearing him immediately? But you know what? Let me guess. They gotta team up and work together to do good and beat Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. So, there it is. But, I'm good. I'm just happy to see Roman Reigns. That's great. But again, they're probably going to have him and Jey fight Braun and Bronson at SummerSlam, and it's not going to make any sense, but I'm sure that Bronson and Braun Breaker are going to somehow win that match. It's going to be stupid. It's not going to make sense, but again, it is what it is, man. That's just kind of how Triple H rolls, and that's what it is. So, we'll see what happens with Roman Reigns showing up. Good to have him back. Not sure what's going to happen next. I just hope that CM Punk can finally take the championship off of Gunther and become a world champion yet again. I think it would be awesome. CM Punk is an actual draw. You know what I'm saying? He actually is able to cut good promos and tell good stories, and he's entertaining. And from time to time, he can still put on decent matches considering his age and the current state of his body. He can still put on decent matches every now and then. So it is what it is, man. At the end of the day, this episode of Raw was nonsensical garbage. I'm going to give it a 1.5 out of 10 simply because Roman Reigns showed up, so that's always cool. But the booking of this guy, if they have him lose again at SummerSlam and be the one to get pinned, we're just gonna, I don't even know what to even say at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, where do you even go from here? So we'll see what happens. Raw was absolute garbage, nonsensical, inconsistent, and absolutely trash. Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. And as always, I thank you guys for watching. Have a phenomenal day. Peace out and one love.
Well, I'm glad that Roman Reigns came back because, the ratings been trash lately, but still, CJAX saying it's still not good, but, I mean, ain't nothing wrong with putting Braun Breaker over. I mean, we need him to get over because, at the end of the day, he deserved better, and he should not be treated like a jobber or be treated like a lackey, you know what I'm saying? I mean, at least, in this moment in time, he can, finally get over, now that Seth Rollins is injured, you know what I'm saying? So now people could start looking at Braun Breaker a little bit more, and that's just what it is. I mean, of course, Seth Rollins is going to be gone for like 4 or 5 months. So, so now he has 4 or 5 months to get over before Seth Rollins come back. So, the good thing is, Braun Breaker has a chance to, get over with the crowd, even though people are, cheering for him and are, doing his little barks and whatnot. But at the same time, they're booing him because he's heel. So, again, it all depends on the crowd, but still, it is good to see Braun Breaker, getting over. But the bad news is it's LA Knight. So I don't know how LA Knight is going to get to SummerSlam. I don't know. But this is why Triple H need to re-sign, because the fact that LA Knight can't even be on the card is kind of sad, So hopefully in 2 weeks they could give him something, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. It just kind of sucks that we can't see LA Knight, against Gunther. I wish it would be a triple threat match, but They're not going to do that. So I don't know what it's going to take, man. I don't know what's going to take. But comment down below. Let me know, man. Do you guys think it's over for LA Knight? Or is there still hope? Y'all comment down below. Let me know. Okay? Yeah. Because I don't mind. Because we been knew that CM Punk was going to win, though. That's the thing. We been knew. Because, because on Twitter, people was making posters of it. So we kind of knew, right? I mean, we knew that CM Punk was going to be in the main event against Gunther. We knew. But the question is he going to beat Gunther? That's the question. I don't know. But y'all comment down below and let me know. Get in the comment box. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share if you're new. And I'll catch you on the next video, okay? I'm out.